Hello, you're back with Dave and Tim at the Single Malt Review, and it must be time for a single malt, even a single malt scotch. It's been a while.
At last. And it's time for, I think, what's going to be a really exciting one. It is finally, Ledaig.
Yes, Ledaig, by Ledaig even.
Possibly one of the most nightmarishly spelled versus pronunciation Scottish words in existence. Although I probably opened a real can of worms there, so please let me know your favourite one in the comments. It's one of my most favourite things is nightmarishly spelled words. This is, of course, the heavily peated offering from Tobermory Distillery on the Isle of Mull. It is 10 years old. It is not coloured. And it is not chill filtered, so we're already off a good start. And I haven't even had to make any quality statements about the whiskey. It's just that good.
A robust 46.3% ABV.
So with no colour, we'll take that to mean that looks a lot like a predominantly bourbon matured whiskey to me, which is always a safe bet. But I'll bet there's a little skerrick of sherry maturation in around the edges there.
So we've tried a few Ledaigs in the past on the channel, and they've been uniformly phenomenal.
They've been really good.
Yeah. They've all been independent bottlings, though. This is the first Ledaig by Tobermory, or bottled by, actually, under their own label, that we've tried. So
this has been waiting a long time to happen. We should have probably given this one its due ages ago, given how much we both like Ledaig and how excellent it's uniformly been in the indie bottles that we've tried. Ledaig is one of those whiskies, and it's weird because Tobermory isn't, that really gets out and into independent bottles. It just cannot stop leaking out of the distillery. The casks just grow legs and run away and escape across the ocean like Alcatraz, and everybody seems to bottle them. There's just always a Ledaig knocking around on any given shelf of indie bottlings out there, which is really, really good because as a peated but not an Islay peated, they don't have that immense prestige and consequently immense price tag that comes along with that whole show. So they're really, really good. So yeah, Ledaig. It's been a long time, but I think smoky bacon is what I'm going to smell out of here. Is my memory of it.
off the top of your head, do you know if they get all their peat locally, or is it brought over from Islay or mainland?
It'll be Islay peat. It'll come out of the Port Ellen maltings, which is pretty much where all the Islay peat comes from. Mull's pretty small. I think Mull's, aside from whiskey, Mull exports a very nice cheese, and I think that's about it. It's not really barley country to speak of. Anyway, let's see what we've got here. I can smell this already. This is boosted out the glass.
Yeah.
Oh, ppms, I should have mentioned. ppms are oddly between, meaning maybe they've got two different forks of how they distill, but between 30 and 40, which puts it up on the higher end, below the real peat freaks like Lefroy and Ardbeg, but higher than most of the other Islay producers.
That's 30 to 40 parts per million of peat in the whiskey, if you're not used to terminology, just how much actual peat has made it through into the glass.
Yes, indeed. All right, on the nose.
Oh, that is a very cold Islay nose to start with.
It is. It's extremely cold. In fact, this could have faked me extremely hard if I didn't already know going in. This would be an absolutely lethal one. It's coming out of, say, a blind tasting calendar or something like that. That we
coal smoke and greasy hemp rope.
Less of that bacon than I was anticipating.
Yeah.
I think because we've only tasted individual quirky, independent examples, usually from individual casks, maybe that bacon was just an outlier that popped up, because this is very much in the model of Colina. It's very, very citrus noted on here. It's
nicely brackish too, good sort of briny, oceanic quality.
Very, very maritime, very, very salty, very, very citric. Pretty tasty though, very, very savoury, and not blowing anything up. It's not a profoundly huge strength, so that's not something we'd be expecting, but no, I like it.
Leaving a noticeably sort of greasy layer inside the glass. It's really got legs.
So on the palate, that's surprisingly sweet. That's pretty lush up front before the smoke really kicks in and hits.
Oh, yeah. There's some old-fashioned lemonade, followed by layers of coal smoke and tobacco smoke.
Yeah. Very, very tarry. The palate is not quite so indicative of Colina. It's not just a Colina clone, I'm glad. The palate almost goes in a bit more of a Bowmore direction, but it's a little stickier. Bowmore is very flinty, very mineral, but this has a real sticky tar. It has a bituminous quality to it that really, really coats the palate and hangs on. I'm still tasting that sort of sticky tar.
It is really just greasy and grubby and just really lingers. It sticks in your mouth like a particularly greasy burger.
Yeah. But there is rich malt in there. There's quite good sweet malt. There's still honey. There's still sort of a caramel.
And a little bit of a sweetness and citrus, which would speak to bourbon casks, which is almost certainly a factor in the maturation.
Oh, for certain. This will be 90-something% bourbon matured, I guarantee it. This is pretty good, but yeah, can it take water? That's another question. It should be strong enough to take a little bit, at the very least.
Yeah. It's a decent slug
Dave's
there.
got a moderate amount. I'll be a bit more cavalier with mine. I'll put in too much water and see what happens.
Oh, that's brought out a lot of minerality on the nose. Really, really flinty, really stony.
Very, very flinty now. And we're misusing the term flinty because flint kind of smells a bugger all, even on a good day. Flintiness, think more if you're in a riverbed with a geologist's hammer, like an astonishingly small number of you ever will be, but hey, or just whack two rocks together. Basically, you want to split a stone open. You split a stone open, and then the inside has all sorts of volatiles in there, stuff that hasn't been exposed to the air for millions, sometimes billions of years, depending on the stone, and you get this. You get a different kind of aroma, and it's kind of ozony. It's kind of difficult to describe, but that's what people mean when they say flinty. It doesn't really happen with flint at all, weirdly enough. So anyway, I digress.
Oh, yes, like how we think of petrichor as the smell of rain, when really it's a bacterial byproduct produced in response to rain. But yeah,
for sure. So yeah, more flinty on the nose, a little more fruity on the palate.
Ooh,
but the smoke, the smoky smoke, not the tarry smoke, really kind of comes back in pretty hard with that addition of water.
As for me, with the fairly gentle amount of water I added, the smoke has really subsided. It's leaving lots of there's sweetness, there's fruits, but there's also savoury notes coming through, including a bit of like buttered kippers. A little bit pan simmered fish with butter.
Yeah, I like it. It has got legs for sure. It can take that water. I think I preferred it a little bit more without the water at full strength. I think I enjoyed that lemon citrus to kind of counterpoint the more mineral and the tarry flavours, but it's still heaps going on.
Sardines on toast.
Yeah.
Final tasting it for me. That's happening now.
I think what this is, for the last word, chapter break, this one for me is, it's an Islay whiskey that they're selling out back of the shop. And you are consequently not paying remotely full price. This has everything that's good about Islay. It just doesn't have Islay in the name. And so that fashion statement goes by the wayside, and so does 50% of the cost. And it's 10 years old as well, which can do a lot worse with Islay whiskies these days. This is one of the, if you're looking for something distinctly like, what does the Isle of Mull taste like? This I don't think is the whiskey. That's Tobermory. Tobermory is very, very unique. And I guess that is the flavour of the Isle of Mull, because it is the only distillery there. And similarly, Talisker is very much its own thing. That's quite identifiable. This one is very much in the Islay mode, and that's great for people that actually enjoy those flavours rather than that name tag on the bottle, because this is an excellent source of it. It's very, very available. It's much, much cheaper, and I think it's of profoundly high quality compared to a lot of the increasingly no-age statements sort of flooding the Islay scene as they desperately try to keep up production with demand for that just roaring fire of a hot zone in terms of popular whiskey. So that's my take on it. How does it leave you?
Well, you got to put a score on. Do you guys?
Oh, I want to hear yours first. I'm cogitating on mine.
Well, yeah, it is a good example of Islay peach being used in a not quintessentially Islay way. It's got lots of those characteristic peaty notes, just they're expressed in a kind of unique recombination. So Ledaig's own expression of peat. It's variously sweet and savoury, it's meaty and ropey, it's all kinds of different characters all mushed together, but it works. It's harmonious, it's tasty, it's one to think over and just enjoy slowly, with water or without. So it is just an exemplary whiskey. And an easy 90 points from me.
Yeah, 90 points. Boom, done. We are in agreement. I'm getting a bright ear. It's weird. It's only my ear. It's weird. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. And if it is, that's a bit weird. Go away. We don't want any ear people on the channel, only foot people and better. Anyway, that was the shig. You can see I'm beginning to lose it at this point, but talking about my ears. So, Slanger, we will be right back with another one. But goodness, it's good to get back to Scotland. However, briefly, because now it's time to go
Unbroken
somewhere
run of good
else.
Ledaig.
Yeah,
Every one we've tried has been excellent.
Ledaig
There's no
can't
exception.
lose. All right, catch us soon.